The night began like any other for fans who follow the roller coaster journey of Papoose and Remy Ma. But what unfolded behind hospital walls sent shockwaves through the entire hip-hop community. Whispers quickly turned into screams online as rumors spread that Remy Ma had been rushed into emergency care, her condition described only in one word: critical. And when doctors delivered the heart-stopping news, cameras caught Papoose, breaking down in a way the world has never seen before. Tears, chaos, unanswered questions. This was not the Papoose fans knew. The strong man who always stood tall beside his queen. Instead, he crumbled under the weight of the diagnosis, his voice cracking as he begged doctors for answers that seemed too grim to repeat. Friends rushed to the hospital. Fans swarmed social media with prayers. And even family members pointed fingers, accusing one another of failing Remy when she needed them most. But what exactly happened that left Remy fighting for her life? Was it stress, betrayal, or something far darker behind the scenes? Tonight, we unravel every shocking twist, every confrontation, and every explosive revelation that has left an entire industry reeling. The atmosphere inside the hospital was heavy, almost suffocating, as whispers echoed through the sterile white halls. Doctors moved quickly from one room to another, nurses exchanged worried glances, and in the middle of it all stood Papoose, a man who seemed like his entire world had been ripped apart in a matter of seconds. For years, he had been known as the loyal husband, the rock behind Remy Ma, the one who kept the family together during the toughest times. But now, as he sat with his head buried in his hands, the image of strength collapsed into fragments of calables, of desperation. Remy Ma had been rushed into the hospital after suddenly collapsing at home. According to those close to the couple, it started with fatigue, the kind of exhaustion that Remy often brushed aside as nothing more than stress. But this time, the situation spiraled quickly. She complained of dizziness, chest pains, and within minutes she was unresponsive. Papoose's frantic voice on the 911 call replayed in the minds of those who heard it, trembling as he screamed for someone to save his wife. Inside the emergency room, doctors worked tirelessly while Papoose paced the floor. Friends like Fat Joe and other industry figures rushed in, their faces pale with shock. Fans outside the hospital began to gather, some holding posters, some crying, others live streaming every update they could catch. It wasn't long before rumors spread that Remy's condition wasn't just serious, it was life-threatening. Papoose tried to keep his composure, but the cracks in his armor showed when he was finally allowed to see her. Remy lay still, hooked to machines, her face pale and fragile, a haunting contrast to the strong, vibrant woman the world had always known. Papoose whispered to her, his voice breaking, "Baby, you gotta fight. You can't leave me. Not like this." He clutched her hand as if willing his strength into her weakened body. But the tension in the room grew thicker when doctors walked in with a tone that made everyone freeze. Their words were careful, almost hesitant, as they explained her condition had reached a critical stage. No one could predict the outcome. The words cut through Papoose like a blade. Tears rolled down his face, and he lashed out, demanding answers. "What do you mean critical? What aren't you telling me? She's a fighter. She's gonna make it. She has to." Family members started to arrive, and with them came the inevitable conflicts. Remy's relatives accused Papoose of not taking her stress seriously, claiming the constant drama around them had pushed her beyond her limits. One relative pointed at him furiously, saying, "You were supposed to protect her, but all this chaos? All this pressure, look where it's landed her now." Papoose, already consumed by guilt, shouted back, "Don't put this on me. I've stood by her through everything. Don't you dare act like I failed her." Emotions ran high as the hallway turned into a battlefield of words. Friends tried to calm the situation, but the weight of fear and uncertainty kept fueling the fire. Some believed Remy had been secretly struggling for a long time, hiding her pain to maintain her strong image in the industry. Others whispered about betrayals, secrets, and the emotional toll of the constant rumors surrounding her marriage. Outside the hospital, fans were shocked as the news broke across social media. Hashtags trended worldwide, with millions posting prayers and emotional messages. Videos of Papoose crying in the hallway went viral, sparking debates about the couple's private struggles. Some fans expressed heartbreak, while others speculated darkly about what might have truly pushed Remy to this breaking point. Inside, Papoose leaned against the cold wall, his mind racing through memories of their journey together. He thought of the years he waited for her while she was behind bars, how he promised never to abandon her. He thought of the triumphs they shared, the music, the love, the family. And now, to face the possibility of losing her was unbearable in one corner. Fat Joe pulled Papoose aside, trying to keep him grounded. "Listen, bro, she's strong. We've seen her fight through worse. You've got to hold it together for her, for the family." But Papoose shook his head, his eyes red from crying. "I don't know if I can, Joe. I've never seen her like this. It feels like she's slipping away." As hours passed, Remy's condition remained critical. Doctors worked around the clock, but the uncertainty gnawed at everyone. At one point, Papoose overheard a doctor whispering to another nurse about complications that could change everything. His heart sank. Rushing over, he demanded the truth, but the doctor avoided his eyes, saying only, "We're doing everything we can." In that moment, the weight of the world seemed to crash on Papoose's shoulders. He broke down in the hallway, collapsing to his knees as cameras captured the heartbreaking scene. His cries echoed through the hospital, raw and unfiltered. "Please, God, don't take her from me. Not now, not ever." But the tension was far from over. Just as Papoose tried to pull himself together, another wave of drama erupted. Whispers spread that someone close to the family had leaked details of Remy's condition to the press, sparking outrage among those present. Accusations flew, fingers pointed, and the fragile sense of unity crumbled even further. "Who would do this?" shouted a family friend. "This is her life we're talking about, and someone's out there turning it into gossip for clicks." The betrayal deepened the wounds already tearing the family apart. Papoose, furious, demanded to know who could be so heartless at a time like this. But no one stepped forward, and the tension only thickened as the night stretched on. Exhaustion set in, but no one dared to leave. Every tick of the clock felt like a countdown. Every beep of the machines inside Remy's room felt like a reminder of how fragile her life had become. Papoose stood silently at her side once again, brushing a hand over her hair. "I'm right here, baby. I'm not going anywhere. You just hold on." And then, just when it seemed like things couldn't get more chaotic, a doctor rushed out of the room with a grim expression, calling for immediate backup. The sudden urgency sent shockwaves through everyone waiting outside. Papoose froze, his heart pounding as he demanded to know what was happening. The only response was a single word that left everyone breathless: complications. The word hung in the air like a curse, sending chills down everyone's spine. Complications, it was vague, terrifying, and left Papoose clinging to the wall for support as the medical team rushed past him. Monitors beeped faster inside the room, muffled voices of doctors overlapping in a frenzy of instructions. The door slammed shut, leaving family and friends in the hallway frozen in dread. Papoose's chest tightened, his breaths coming in short, broken gasps. "What do you mean, complications?" he shouted at a passing nurse, but she didn't stop, her eyes full of urgency. Panic spread among the gathered crowd. Relatives clutched each other. Friends whispered prayers under their breath, and the fans outside grew louder as news leaked that Remy was fighting for her life in real time. It was at this moment that the weight of everything truly broke Papoose down. He fell into a chair, his hands covering his face, sobbing uncontrollably. "I can't lose her," he whispered repeatedly, rocking back and forth. "Not like this. Not when we've come this far. Come this far. Suddenly, a voice cut through the chaos. Remy's cousin stepped forward, her tone sharp and bitter. She's in there because of all this stress. The rumors, the betrayals, the constant drama, she's been carrying it all on her shoulders. And you, Papoose, you let it eat her alive. The words sliced through him like a knife. Everyone turned, shocked at the public accusation, but she didn't back down. You think standing by her is enough? You think posting pictures and smiling for the cameras is love? No. Real love is protecting her from the poison around her, from the lies and the people who only wanted to tear her down. Where were you when she cried herself to sleep at night? Papoose's eyes flared with anger and pain. Don't you dare act like you know what goes on between us, he snapped. I've sacrificed everything for her. I've stood by her when everyone else turned their backs. I've given her my soul. Don't put this on me. The argument grew louder, echoing through the halls until security had to step in and separate them. Friends tried to mediate, but the damage was done. The family was divided, trust shattered at the very moment they needed unity most on. Then, as if the universe wanted to twist the knife deeper, a journalist somehow managed to sneak into the hospital. He began snapping photos and shouting questions, turning the moment into a media circus. Is it true she might not make it through the night? Has Papoose been hiding the truth about her condition? What about the rumors of betrayal in their marriage? Papoose lost control. He lunged at the man, fury blazing in his eyes, screaming, "Get out! This isn't a game. This is her life." It took 3 security guards to pull him back, his body trembling with rage and heartbreak. The journalist was dragged out, but not before he shouted, "The world deserves to know the truth." The truth. Those words lingered, fueling the storm of speculation outside. Social media exploded with theories. Some fans insisted Remy had been secretly battling health issues for years, while others claimed the stress of betrayal had broken her spirit. Whispers of infidelity, broken trust, and hidden fights dominated timelines. Even as fans begged for prayers. Inside, Papoose couldn't take the noise anymore. He slipped into the chapel at the hospital, desperate for a moment of silence. Dimly lit room was empty, save for a few candles flickering in the corner. He dropped to his knees, his voice cracking as he spoke to the heavens. God, I've never asked for much. I've always tried to be strong, to be the man she deserves. But right now, I'm begging you. Don't take her from me. She's my everything. She's the reason I breathe. Give her the strength to fight, and I promise I'll never let her go. Tears streamed down his face as he clutched the edge of the pew, his body shaking from the weight of his desperation. While he prayed, more chaos brewed in the waiting area. Remy's team of close friends argued fiercely about who had leaked information. To the press earlier, one accused another of selling out the story for money. "We trusted you, and you turned her pain into profit," a friend screamed, shoving another against the wall. Fists nearly flew before security once again intervened. All the while, Remy's condition inside the room worsened. The doctors' voices rose in urgency, calling for more equipment, more medication, more time. One nurse rushed out to grab supplies, and Papoose intercepted her, his voice trembling. "Please, just tell me, is she still breathing?" The nurse hesitated, her silence speaking louder than words. Before hurrying back in, Papoose felt his knees weaken, the hallway spinning around. Him. Fat Joe caught him just in time, holding him up. "You can't fall apart now, brother," Joe whispered. "She needs you to be strong." But Papoose could only mutter, "How do I stay strong when I'm watching her slip away?" Then, as if the night hadn't been cruel enough, an even more shocking twist hit. A doctor finally stepped out, his expression grave. He pulled Papoose aside and whispered something that made his face drain of all color. "We've discovered something unexpected. Her collapse wasn't just stress. There are complications in her blood work. May not have been natural." Papoose's eyes widened in horror. "What do you mean not natural? You saying someone did this to her?" The doctor didn't confirm, but his silence was louder than an answer. Papoose stumbled back, his mind racing. Betrayal, sabotage. Poison, the possibilities swirled like a storm in his head. He looked around at the faces in the hallway, some filled with genuine worry, others harder to read. For the first time that night, a chilling thought gripped him. What if someone close to them wanted Remy gone? His heart pounded as he whispered to himself, "This isn't just an accident. This is something darker." The suspicion spread quickly once he shared it with Fat Joe. Whispers turned into accusations. Eyes darted from one person to another. Who would even think of doing something like this? A family member cried out. The once supportive group erupted into chaos again, this time with suspicion poisoning. The air. One person shouted, maybe it was about money. Maybe someone couldn't handle the fame, the pressure. Maybe someone close to her wanted her out of the way. The accusations turned personal and alliances began to form. Some defended Papoose, others blamed him outright, saying he had enemies who might have targeted Remy just to break him in the middle of the storm. Papoose slammed his fist against the wall, his voice booming. Enough. Whoever did this, I swear, on everything, I'll find out. And when I do, they'll regret ever laying a finger on her. His fury echoed through the hall, silencing the crowd for a moment. But just as the argument reached its peak, the sound of alarms rang out from inside Remy's room. The machines beeped wildly, doctors shouted orders, and the air filled with chaos once more. Papoose's heart nearly stopped as he rushed toward the door, only to be held back by staff. He screamed her name, his voice breaking. "Remy, don't leave me! Please don't leave me!" And with that, the doors slammed shut again, leaving everyone outside in suffocating silence as they waited to learn if she would survive the night. The alarms from Remy's room echoed like a death knell down the hospital corridor, freezing everyone. In place, the red glow of the emergency lights flickered across the sterile walls as nurses sprinted in with equipment. Papoose's chest tightened, every second feeling like an eternity. He pressed against the locked door, pounding with both fists. "Let me in. She needs me. I can't just stand here." His voice was raw, his cries almost animalistic. But the staff held firm. Inside, the muffled chaos grew, louder doctors shouting, machines wailing, the unmistakable rhythm of a life slipping away. Outside, the family's fear erupted again. Remy's cousin collapsed into a chair, wailing uncontrollably. Fat Joe held his head in his hands, whispering, "Come on, sis, you can't leave us like this." Fans outside caught wind of the emergency, their prayers turning into panicked screams as live streams broadcasted the unfolding nightmare to millions. Finally, after what felt like hours but was only minutes, the alarms began to slow. The room fell quieter, though the tension was unbearable. A doctor stepped out, his expression grave, sweat on his brow. Papoose lunged toward him, grabbing his arm. "Tell me, is she alive? Please, just tell me she's alive." The doctor nodded slowly, but his words carried no comfort. "She's stable, for now, but the situation is extremely fragile. She went into cardiac arrest and we managed to bring her back. However, the complications are severe. We can't guarantee she'll pull through the night." Papoose collapsed against the wall, sliding down to the floor as tears streamed down his face. "How did we get here? How did it come to this?" he whispered, but as the family tried to process the news, the shadow of suspicion from earlier crept back into the room. Papoose's words about something unnatural lingered like poison in everyone's minds. One relative muttered, "What if this wasn't just stress? What if someone wanted her gone?" The suggestion spread like wildfire. Soon, accusations flared again. One person shouted she had enemies in the industry, people jealous of her comeback. Maybe one of them had a hand in this, another countered. Or maybe it's someone closer, someone who knew her every move. The arguments grew louder, filling the hall with hostility while Remy's life hung by a thread inside. Papoose stood, his eyes bloodshot but fierce. "I don't care who it is," he growled. "Friend, family, stranger, it doesn't matter. If I find out someone did this to her, I'll make sure they pay." His words carried the weight of a vow, sending chills through those who heard. Yet even in his rage, doubt gnawed at him. Whispers of betrayal, infidelity, and broken trust resurfaced in his mind. Over the past months, rumors had swirled about Remy's alleged involvement with another rapper. She denied it. The gossip had been relentless, tearing at their bond. Had the emotional strain weakened her health? Or was there truly something more sinister at play? Papoose remembered nights when Remy came home drained, her energy sapped, her eyes shadowed with worry. She would wave it off, insisting she was fine. But deep down, he knew she was carrying something heavier than she admitted. Now, looking at her fighting for her life, the puzzle pieces felt more sinister. While he spiraled in thought, a sudden commotion erupted at the hospital entrance. A group of fans had forced their way in, holding candles and chanting prayers for Remy. Security scrambled to push them back, but their cries echoed through the building. "We love you, Remy. Fight, Remy." It was chaotic, heartfelt, and desperate all at once. Papoose, hearing the chants, felt a strange mix of comfort and agony. The world was watching, millions of eyes glued to every update. Yet here he was, helpless, watching the woman he loved teeter on the edge of death. That Joe pulled him aside again, speaking softly. "Listen, bro, I know you're hurting, but you gotta focus. The more you let this tear you apart, the more it hurts her. She needs your strength now more than ever." Papoose shook his head, his voice trembling. "Strength won't save her. Prayers won't save her. I need answers. I need to know what's really happening to her." As if on cue, a doctor approached, quietly motioning for Papoose to follow him into a private office. The room was dim, papers scattered across the desk. The doctor closed the door, his face tense. "Mr. Mackey, I need to be honest with you. The tests we ran show something unusual. In her bloodstream, this isn't just a natural collapse. There are toxin substances that shouldn't be there." Papoose's heart dropped. "Toxins? Are you saying someone poisoned her?" The doctor hesitated. "We can't confirm how it got there, but the levels are abnormal and they cause the cardiac complications. Whether it was intentional or accidental, it put her in this state." Rage coursed through Papoose's veins. He slammed his fist onto the desk, shouting, "Who would do this? Who would try to kill her?" The doctor's voice was calm but heavy. "I don't know, but if it was deliberate, whoever did it knew exactly how to make it look like stress or exhaustion. Not the kind of thing just anyone could pull off." Stoosh stormed back into the hallway, his fury barely contained. His voice boomed as he faced everyone gathered. "Listen to me. This wasn't an accident. The doctors found toxins in her system. Someone did this to her." The crowd erupted. Gasps, screams, accusations flew like wildfire. One relative cried out, "You can't be serious." Another shouted, "Who would want to hurt Remy like that?" But beneath the panic, a darker truth lingered. Someone among them might have answers immediately. Fingers began pointing again. One person accused Remy's manager, saying he had access to her food and drink during long studio sessions. Another suggested a jealous rival might have slipped something to her backstage at an event. The room was a storm of suspicion, every word dripping with fear and betrayal. Papoose's cousin, the one who had earlier accused him, sneered bitterly. "And what about you, Papoose? How do we know you didn't have something to do with this? You've been under pressure too. Maybe you've snapped." The accusations sent him over the edge. He lunged toward her, his voice cracking with rage. "How dare you? I would die before I ever hurt her. I love her more than my own life." It took multiple people to hold him back, his fury uncontrollable. The family was now fully divided, each side throwing blame while Remy lay helpless in the next room. Outside, the press had caught wind of the poisoning theory. Headlines exploding. Across the internet, was Remy Ma poisoned? Is Papoose under fire as suspicions grow? The narrative spun wildly, feeding the frenzy. Papoose ignored the noise. His focus locked on one truth. Someone wanted Remy gone, and he wouldn't rest until he uncovered who. Standing outside her door, he whispered through the glass, "I'll get justice for you, baby, no matter what it takes." But just as he made his silent vow, the machines inside her room began to beep erratically again. The doctors rushed back in, shouting orders, their voices rising in panic. Papoose's blood ran cold as he pressed against the glass, watching in horror as Remy's fragile body convulsed. "We're losing her," a doctor shouted from inside. Papoose's world shattered once more as the unbearable possibility loomed over him. The love of his life might not survive the night. The words "we're losing her" sent a chill through every corner of the hospital. The glass of the ICU room fogged with frantic movements inside, doctors huddling, nurses handing over equipment, machines blaring warnings that cut through the silence like knives. Papoose's fists pounded against the glass. "A fight, baby. Please fight." His voice cracked, queen through the hallway as family members broke down around him. The sight of Remy's body, convulsing under the weight of the machines, was almost too much to bear. Fat Joe held Papoose back, whispering, "Hold it together. Man, she can feel your strength even now." But Papoose shook violently, screaming, "They're taking her away from me. I can't lose her, not like this." Minutes dragged like hours. The long, flat tone of the heart monitor suddenly pierced the air, drawing a chorus of gasps from those watching. Remy's cousin collapsed to the floor, sobbing uncontrollably, while others clutched one another in shock. Papoose felt his soul leave his body as he pressed his forehead against the glass, whispering, "No, no, no." Then came the desperate voice of a doctor from inside. Clear. The paddles slammed onto Remy's chest, her body jolting violently. Once, twice, 3 times. The crowd outside held its breath. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the monitor beeped again, slow at first, then steady. A faint heartbeat. She was alive. Cheers of relief mixed with tears filled the hallway. Some fell to their knees in gratitude. Others hugged tightly, crying into each other's shoulders. Papoose collapsed to the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. "Thank you, God. Thank you for giving her back to me." But the relief was short-lived. The doctor stepped out moments later, his face grim. "She's stable, but barely. The toxins in her system are still causing major complications. We've bought her time, but unless we identify the source and stop it, she may not survive another episode." The room fell into tense silence. Suspicion sharpened into something darker. Everyone looked around, eyes darting, the question unspoken but heavy in the air. Who had poisoned Remy? Papoose stood slowly, his eyes wild with determination. No more secrets, no more lies. "Someone here knows what happened, and I won't stop until I find the truth." The family splintered further. Some pleaded for unity, begging not to fight while Remy lay so fragile. Others demanded answers immediately, pointing fingers at managers, friends, even family members who had access to her. Accusations turned into screaming matches, forcing hospital security to intervene once again. Outside, the chaos mirrored inside. The media had gotten wind of the poisoning theory, and news outlets broadcasted headlines that shocked the world. Remy Ma, fighting for her life after suspected poisoning. Paparazzi swarmed the hospital. Fans cried in candlelight vigils. And social media boiled over with theories. Papoose blocked it all out. He sat by her bedside when finally allowed in, clutching her hand, whispering through tears, You're not alone. I'm right here. I'll protect you. I'll find out who did this. I swear. You just have to hold on." Her eyelids fluttered faintly, as though his voice reached somewhere deep inside. But her body remained weak, frail, and unmoving. As the night deepened, a shocking twist emerged. One of Remy's close associates, a woman she had trusted for years, was caught by hospital staff sneaking into her room with a drink. When confronted, the woman stammered excuses, claiming she only wanted to help, but suspicions ignited immediately. "How did you get in here?" "Why now, when we're fighting too? Keep her alive." The staff confiscated the cup, sending it for testing. When Papoose found out, his rage was uncontrollable. He confronted her in front of everyone, his voice shaking with fury. "You call yourself her friend? You've been around her every day? And now you show up with something you won't explain? Did you do this to her? Do this to her?" The woman cried, insisting she was innocent, but her explanations crumbled under the weight of suspicion. The family erupted again, some siding with her, others demanding she be removed immediately. Hospital security escorted her out, leaving behind more questions than answers. PA felt torn apart. Betrayal was everywhere. Trust shattered beyond repair, but he refused to let it break him. He leaned over Remy, whispering, "No matter who it is, I'll find the truth. I'll make sure you're safe." Hours later, test results came back confirming traces of toxins in the drink she tried to bring in. The revelation spread like wildfire, shocking everyone. The hospital contacted authorities, and an official investigation was launched. As detectives arrived, the atmosphere turned even darker. Questions were asked, statements taken. Every face in the room was scrutinized. The possibility that someone close to Remy had orchestrated this left everyone shaken to their core. Through it all, Papoose never left her side. He held her hand, his tears soaking the sheets. "You've fought so many battles," he whispered. "This is just another one. You're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this." The hours crept toward dawn. Remy's condition remained fragile, but she clung to life with a strength that amazed even the doctors. They warned Papoose that the next 24 hours were critical then. In a moment that left everyone breathless, Remy's fingers twitched. Papoose froze, staring at her hand. "Baby, did you just move?" he whispered, slowly, painfully. Her eyelids fluttered open. Her voice was barely a whisper, but the words shattered the silence. "Papoose!" He broke down, clutching her hand to his lips. "I'm here, baby. I'm right here," he sobbed. The room filled with tears of joy, family members rushing in, prayers turning into cheers. Fans outside erupted when news spread that she had briefly regained consciousness. But the joy was tempered by the truth. She was still weak. Her voice fragile, her body fighting a war within. She looked at Papoose, her eyes glassy, and whispered, "Don't trust anyone." Before slipping back into unconsciousness, the warning sent chills through him. It confirmed his deepest fears. Someone close had betrayed her. The mystery deepened, and the search for answers grew more urgent than ever. As the sun rose, casting light through the hospital windows, Papoose made a vow in front of everyone gathered. His voice was steady, filled with a mix of pain and determination. "She's alive, and as long as she breathes, I'll fight for her. Whoever tried to take her from me, from us, will regret the day they ever tried. This isn't over, not by a long shot." The family, though still divided, fell into silence at his words. The truth was out there, waiting to be uncovered. But for now, the focus was on Remy, who clung to life with a strength only she could summon. Papoose leaned over her, kissing her forehead softly. "We're not done yet, baby. We still have a story to finish. I promise you, we'll finish it together." As the camera of the world kept rolling, the drama was far from resolved. The questions loomed larger than ever. Who poisoned Remy? Why did they want her gone? And would she survive the battle still ahead? The stage was set for a storm bigger than anyone could imagine. And Papoose knew this was only the beginning. The night that began with panic has ended with questions that shake the very core of Remy Ma and Papoose's world. From the chilling moment doctors revealed her condition was critical, to the shocking discovery of toxins in her system. The story has spiraled into something far darker than anyone could have imagined. Emotions ran high, families clashed, suspicions. Divided friends and an entire community of fans held its breath as Remy fought for her life. For now, she remains in a fragile state, hovering between recovery and danger. Her brief awakening brought hope, but her whispered warning, "Don't trust anyone," left everyone rattled and suspicious. Who wanted her gone? Was it someone inside her trusted circle, a rival in the industry, or a betrayal even closer to home? And where does this leave Papoose, a man who has stood unwaveringly by her side, now shattered yet determined to fight? His vow to uncover the truth echoes loudly, but the answers remain shrouded in secrecy. Fans are shocked, the family is divided, and the entire world waits for the next twist in this unbelievable saga. But now we turn it over to you. What do you think really happened to Remy Ma? Was this truly an accident, or was it a calculated betrayal from someone she trusted? Do you believe she will recover fully, or is this battle just beginning? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear your theories. And if you've been gripped by this emotional roller coaster, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another update. Your support keeps us bringing you the most shocking and dramatic stories from the world of hip-hop and beyond. Stay tuned, skascrew, because this story is far from over.